ESPN analyst Monica McNutt said that little girls or talking about little girls being drawn to and becoming fans of Caitlin Clark. And she said some controversial statements in the video. Check this out.
Long-term commercially viable.
Two things. I think it has to show up in our storytelling and it has to be encouraged by our families.
Yeah.
To me, right? And so covering the WNBA this past season, Caitlin Clark's rookie year, for all of the conversation that surrounded her, some which was fair and some which wasn't, the one thing that I cannot deny is the amount of little girls that were showing up to follow her, little girls with their parents and the fervor and the energy there.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well, I was just about to say same thing for Angel Reese when I had a chance to cover their games. But I think Caitlin represented, and again, some of this to me probably is not fair to her because it was not anything that she said or was truly based on her personality, but she was a white girl from the middle of America. And so she represented a whole lot to a lot of people, whether that is truly what she prescribed to or not. We can all say she is a dynamic basketball player and a force both on the court and the marketing sense. But I do think same thing with folks that may have fallen in love with Angel Reese that may or may not have agreed with everything they had to say either. We attach our fandom to these icons for all types of reasons, and sometimes they may not be based in all truth.
Interesting view. Where's Shamika? I'm calling her right now. I'm getting Shamika on this show. Fuck that. I'm racist, Steve. I'm racist. I'm a racist motherfucker when I come on here and talk this shit, but she's fine. She can get away with it. Little white girl from Iowa. I wish I would. I wish I could say that with Smitty on here. This is a fucking joke, man. Well, let's be honest. I'm getting
What's the joke, JB? Let's hear your actual take.
Little white girls from Iowa is the only reason that they like her. That is actually against your belief, Smitty. You think she's the best basketball player. You've never mentioned race. Like, why she got to be the fucking one to say that shit and she's fine. She gets a pass though, right, Smitty? I want to ask. I'm going to be clear. She gets a pass, but I don't.
Gets a pass from what?
She could say a little white girl. And if I said that about a black kid,
I ain't call you racist.
Huh?
I didn't call you racist. Are you talking to the fans in the chat who call you racist?
Yeah, I'm asking you in general. That's what the take would be. Like, that's what it would be. Because, yesterday the whole Deion extension thing was a whole fucking bullshit drama.
You know me. I never called you racist on it. I didn't even bring up race.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about, in general, that's the take.
Yeah.
Steve Kim would be called racist. I would be called racist, even though he's fucking Asian. Whoever else would be called racist if they made that take is my point.
I hear what you're saying. I guess the way I read it, but before Steve jumps in, is she's basically saying that she represents a lot of people. Put it like that. She represents a lot of these young girls who are playing basketball. So it makes them feel like I got a chance to be Caitlin Clark when I grow. That's the way I read it. I
used to walk Serena and Venus home from the fucking tennis courts in Compton every day. If I said I'll walk these little black girls home every day, I got fucking roasted. Let's keep it funky. Come on, man.
But I mean, that's a good example though. Like, just being real, Venus and Serena. Like, you mean to tell me, like, watching them grow up, that young black girls who like tennis wasn't inspired by Venus and Serena? Hell yeah, they were. And I don't think there's nothing wrong. I don't think that's racist to say. I think that
but that's not her point.
They're great at what they do, but they look like you, remind you of yourself. So that plays a role. And like, dang, okay, I feel like I could be that.
That's not the point though. It's not the point.
That's the point she was making. Because she also brought in Angel Reese and said for the same reasons for Angel Reese, she thinks it's a similar following for her too on the opposite end. So I was like, okay.
The problem is, I would have been the guy to say the white girls liked Venus and Serena. See, that's what I'm saying. That's would have been the equivalent. I would have had to been the guy that said, I walked two black girls home that the white girls look up to. That's her equivalency. Like, that's the difference that you're not understanding. She's talking about a black woman talking about a white girl player, saying that this is why everyone's following her. Like, nah, come on, man. It's always about something. Kendrick Perkins, Ryan Clark, this whole fucking network. I can't wait for Whitlock and Steve to fire our ass up today, but I know that'll be on the docket.
Let's hear from Steve right now. Steve, what's your...
Well, there's a flaw in her statement, Miss Monica. Sometimes you feel like a McNutt. Caitlin Clark is not close to being the first white girl in the WNBA. In fact, there's been some notable ones like Rebecca Lobo.
Fucking
most of that league most of that league is still black, right? From what I've seen, there's nothing keeping black people from coming out and supporting their sisters.
Nah.
She's upset that the people that like Clark actually spent the time, money, and resources to go there.
It's closer. WNBA is closer than the NBA. It's 62%
Okay,
black.
right. So this whole notion that, well, Clark is this anomaly. No, she's not. Maybe in her game and her talent. There's been a lot of white WNBA players. Guess what? They don't play that well. They're not as dynamic, was something she mentioned. But again, nothing.
Karasi,
right.
All these different girls. This is the point. This is the point, Smitty, and I. This is the argument Smitty and I have. This is the issue I have. Like, she is not the only person like that's been dominant in the WNBA. But this is what is the reason that I argue with Smitty. This is why the WNBA has mad popularity right now. It's because of her. Is it not, Smitty? It's because of this one girl.
Well, like, not just her. She's only 98% of it, but not all. The other 2%. That Smitty and I argued about the Juju Watkins comparison. I'm like, I think Juju's already more skilled and blah, blah, blah. And we argued, and I said, but let's be honest. No one's at March Madness watching the women's games. And no one's at the WNBA, and they're bitching about women or men not supporting them. Well, they are one game a night wherever Caitlin Clark plays.
That's my point. Indiana sells the fuck out.
See, if Monica McNutt was truly honest, which I don't know if she has the ability to be, she would say, why are we not supporting our people like the way they're supporting Clark? I'm just going to leave it at that. It's always about someone else. It's always about this grievance of the philosophy of grievance. Nothing was holding anyone back from supporting the past players, regardless of race, culture, creed, religion.
My thing is, because I talked about this before. I think Caitlin Clark is I think it's mostly her skill set and what she brings to the game. I think we haven't seen exactly a player that plays like this in the game. I think that's what was most intriguing. Even at her at Iowa, that's what made not just white people, black people, all races tune in. I mean, you had me at home literally coming home from work and like turning the game on to see what Caitlin was going to do because of the crazy shots that she was making. It was Steph Curry-esque at that collegiate level, and it was fun to watch. Now, the rivalry between her and Angel Reese definitely blew it up, though. Let's be real. I mean, she was hooping before that point, and we were paying attention to her. But after that game, when LSU and Iowa played, and they had the talk trash talking and the waving in the face and all that stuff, that made her and Angel Reese, both of them players, their brand went like doubled in terms of popularity. So, and now was race involved in that conversation, in that dialogue? Yeah, it was. You got a white girl, black girl, stars of college, going at each other, and it helped with the storyline and make it a bigger thing. So I do think race played a role in it, but I think overall it's Caitlin Clark's dominance in the game and how she did it. To your point, Steve, yeah, there's a ton. We've seen a ton of white women ball out in the WNBA or at college. We got Breanna Stewart. We got a lot. The list goes on and on. But it's the how I think Caitlin Clark is doing it that we've never.
There's no doubt, and that's the whole notion that somehow she's just this great white hope. I guess, except there have been other ones. No one cared. No one cared. They still may not care.